So welcome to BISP Solution, the webinar getting started with Oracle Supply Chain and Manufacturing. Moving to the next slide. So in today's agenda, it is in the Oracle Fusion SCM implementation common configurations. So we will first create a user creation, then the implementation project, and then we will have a enterprise structure and the geography, right? So that is the agenda of today. That is day 2. Let's move to the next slide now. In Oracle Fusion application, the cloud, there are different types of user, each with a specific role and permissions. Here are some of the key user types. That is Fusion Application Environment Administrator. This user is responsible for managing and interacting with application environment, including the tasks related to environment management, monitoring and configurations. The Environment Security Administrator. This user is in charge of managing the security settings within the environment. Then there is an environment specific manager. This user handles the specific task related to the environment. Environment monitor. This user is responsible for monitoring the environment for performing and other metrics. And the last is the application user. This user have access to sign into the application itself and can administer that develop or use the application with their rules varying based on specific application they work with. In the context of Oracle Fusion SCM, the person type are used to group the individual based on their association with your organization. This person type can be divided into two categories. System person type. This predefines category within the application that are used to identify specific group of a person. So example of a system person type include an employee, a contingent worker and non-manager by the HR. For non-worker, it is important to note that additional system person type cannot be created, but they form the basis for the user person type. User person type. Each system person type has a corresponding user person type that can be customized to suit your organization preferences. For example, if your company prefers to refer to the employee as associates, you can flexible to change the employee user person type to associate. These classifications are essential for managing the access, ensuring the security and facilitating the reporting within your workforce. There are some distinction between the employee and the contingent worker, the employment arrangement that are important to note. The employee works within an organization on an ongoing or regular basis, contributing to the company operations and objectives. An employee may have a full workload, or they have workload may be variable based on the business needs. Typically, a employee has a permanent or long-term commitment to single employer, often under a contract of employment. Now moving to the contingent worker. The contingent worker is hired on demand for specific period or project, offering flexibility to employers who acquire the additional resources for temporary or project specific needs. The contingent workers often partner with company for various temporary projects or specialized tasks, providing their expertise and services as they as and when required. While both employees and contingent worker play a crucial role in the business operation, their relationship with the business that employer with them differs based on the nature of their employment arrangement. So let us navigate to the application and create a application implementation user from the security console. Let me log out from this. So let me log in. I have logged into the application with the user as a default. So you can see out here, this is the springboard and this is the navigator. From navigator we will navigate to the tools and we can access to the security console now. From the security console we will create a user. From here we will select a user, right? So add user. So let me create a first name as SCM, last name as implementation, right? IMPL, and password I am giving I will add roles. That is application implementation consultant role. Application implementation consultant role. Select this, and I will also add access to the security console to this user also. So this is the IT security manager role. This is the seeded role, right? Select and add. Say done. Let's save and close. So this user has created a one more user, that is process. We would run a one process, that is LDAP job. Retrieve the latest LDAP changes and synchronize the user role. Search with that, select this, say OK, then submit. Refresh that, so it will sync with your LDAP directory. The user rules will get synced out. Let the status be succeeded. So when you manage your user rules in the Oracle Fusion Cloud, it is important to follow the specific set of So that is, when you create a user rule in the Oracle Fusion Cloud, it is important to follow the specific set of steps to ensure that user have appropriate access and the permission. The creating user, to begin with, you create a user in the account of an individual who requires the access to the Oracle Fusion Cloud. So this can be done through manage users also task in the functional setup manager, or creating a user page. If you using the Oracle Fusion Cloud Human Capital also, you can also utilize the hiring and an employee page for this purpose also. Assigning the job roles. Once the user account are created, the next step is to assign the job role to the user. This can be achieved through either Oracle Fusion Human Capital Management or through the Security Console. The job role defines the specific task and permissions that user can perform within the system. Say example as job role includes employee, manager, procurement specialist, sales representative, and a financial analyst, each of which will grant access to a relevant module. Then we will have to run the retrieve latest LDAP changes. It is vital to run this retrieve LDAP changes to procure to synchronize the assigned rules with the LDAP directory. This process ensures that the rules assigned to the user are accurately reflected in the LDAP directory. Then we will assign the data access, which is again optional one depending upon the rule. So depending upon the requirement, you may need to assign the data access to the user based on the job role. This can be accomplished using the manage data access for user task. When assigning the data access, the factor such as user role, that is accounts payable manager, the security context will be your business unit, should be taken into consideration to ensure that proper access control are in place. Okay, so let me refresh again. It is still running. Let the status be succeeded. Let us log out and log in again with a new user and the password, right? So as we provided, we created that scm.impl. Let's see, scm dot let me check with that. Go to the security, let pull up that particular user. Let's reset the password. Let's log out and log in with the SCM IMPL. So we are able to log in with this particular user, and this user has got the two roles, that is related to security console access. He got IT security manager role, so that gives access to the security console, and one other one, he got the from my enterprise, he can access to setup and maintenance, right? If you select a setup and maintenance, from here he can do the setups, that is FSM page access. So let's move to this next slide. So importance of creating implementation project. So we will create an implementation project. So what is the use of implementation of creating the implementation project? So an implementation project in Oracle Fusion Cloud plays a critical role in efficiently managing the setup tasks required during the implementation of Fusion application. Here are some crucial functionalities of implementation of project, that is time management. One of the key features of implementation project is the ability to create a comprehensive list of setup tasks. These tasks can be assigned to specific user who are responsible for managing the setup data. By monitoring the progress of these tasks, the implementation team can ensure a smooth and organized implementation process. Then, task hierarchy. Upon creating our implementation project, a task list hierarchy is automatically generated based on the selected offerings and functional areas. This hierarchy organization of a task takes into account the prerequisite and dependency requirements, ensuring that data entry is done in the correct and sequence of for the correct successful implementation. Export and import. Additionally, implementation project serves as a base of setting up of export and import process. The user can specify which business object and corresponding setup data need to be exported or imported, defining the order of execution. Customization and best practices. The implementation projects allow the customize the default setup and best practice to align with the specific business requirement. Furthermore, they are enable the setup process to manage as a project distributing the responsibility across the different users while effectively tracking their progress. So you can say in summary, the implementation project streamlines the management of a setting up of a task, promoting the collaboration amongst the team members, and generally contributing to successful implementation of Fusion Cloud application. So let us navigate to the application now to create a project. From setting an action, you can navigate to the setup and maintenance, and we are right now from the task list, manage implementation project. From this plus icon, we will create a one project. Let's say the name is SCM implementation project. So somebody has created this project, so same name cannot be taken. So let's take implementation SCM 77, right? So SCM implementation 77, we are taking this name SCM implementation project. Now its status is not started, assigned to SCM implementation. Today is the starting date. You will provide a tentative finish date if you want to, or you can leave it blank, and we can create and select add open the project, save and open the project. Save and open the project. ये ना कर दिया ना. So from here we have created a one project, and we can edit that. Just change the status to in progress, save and close. From here we will take the offerings, right? So we will take the offerings. So we will take offerings related to financials one. Add more. Procurement. We will add product management. Manufacturing and supply chain manufacturing, right? So this will be used to maintain your sub inventory, right? So that will be used for sub inventory. So in the product management you will maintain the product related activity details out there. This is your sub inventory, and this is your procurement related activity. So these are setups will be done. So you can have this in the financial if you go. So if you see, these are all tasks are available in a hierarchy manner, right? So if you see out here, let's say common configurations related to financials. Let me go to this one. Let us go to the procurement out here. Go to the procurement purchasing. You can see a change order template. Then you got a manage purchasing value sets. Then you got a purchasing descriptive flex field. These are in order manner, in the very hierarchy manner, right? So if you see this particular define supplier configurations, the manage procurement category hierarchy, and the procurement agent, right? So you can create this. If it is the asterisk mark, this is the mandate field. Defining the approval management for procurement. If you go to this one, you can see the manage approvals group. The request approval is the mandatory field. Supply negotiation award approvals, various approvals are there, right? So you can see this. So all the task and task list will be available to you in the hierarchy manner. And if you go to the self-service procurement configurations, so these are the templates are there, right, related to self-service. And after selecting the offerings, let's say done, right? So you can go and say done. Let's navigate again. So add manage implementation project, select the overview. So this is the total task, that is total unassigned task is 2205, right? So you can assign the task, and status is right now is in progress, and you can assign the task. So go to this one, select that particular one, select this particular financials, right? You can select that particular financials and assign the task. The whole financials will be assigned to some of your team members, right? So select your due date out here. First pull up the user, say that is a user, say KC Brown. Select this user, say apply, done. So you can give the due date. So due date will be say within the 15th he should complete that, right? So that kind of a, and you can provide the note, complete by this, complete all tasks by due date. So you assign all the financials related setups to KC Brown. So let it get assigned. Let's move to the next slide. So enterprise structure in the Oracle Fusion, you can see a one enterprise per instance. You got a division which is in a future use, it will be in a future use. So you can have a reporting on that based on the division, that is of line of business or in geography. You got a one primary ledger for each country. You have to minimum one primary ledger has to be there per country, and legal entity based on how many registrations are there for legal reporting purposes, right? So that is, a legal entity will be based on how many registrations of an enterprise has. So And under that legal entity you got business unit. That in the business unit, the business transaction happens related to your purchase order, order management, accounts payable, account receivable, procurement. These all transaction happens in business transaction happens in the business unit, which is created on location wise. And you got a inventory org attached to the business unit based on the warehouses where the inventory transaction or inventory details are maintained. And in the primary ledger, the transaction related to general ledger and fixed assets are transaction related to that happens. So in the enterprise structure, you can see this is a one per instance. The division concept is there, but is right now not in use in the application. And you got a one primary ledger per country. Minimum one primary ledger you have to create, and in this primary ledger the transaction related to your general ledger and the fixed assets are there. Uses this particular general ledger and fixed assets, and out here the legal entity, as many as legal entity you can have. You can have a more than one legal entity attached to the primary ledger, and related to legal reporting it's required, and the cash management is maintained at the legal entity level. In the business unit, you got a business transaction related to your purchase order, order management, accounts payable, account receivable, and procurement. And the warehouses related activity where the inventory is maintained, the inventory transactions are maintained in the inventory org. So let's move to the application now. There is some error. Let me check with that. Application is running very slow. So moving to the next slide. So enterprise structure. If you see, I have downloaded already a one enterprise report, that is technical report. I have already downloaded. Let me download this. Go to this one. Let me check it out. Let me check with this. Setup and maintenance. Manage implementation project. Overview. Select the project out here. So let's take a small case out here. So assume that you want to give this particular task to one of the user with a deadline, say within 3 days one should complete. You can add user from here. So apply, done. Save and close. So this task has been assigned to Casey Brown. So you can see, if you drill down to this, so you can see assigned to Casey Brown, right? So due date is coming out here. Similar to that, you can assign, say this is your task related to collection, right? So collection defined task you want to give to somebody else, right? So assign the date. You can assign the date, say by this date one should complete. So you can track on that, right? So you can track. So that has been provided to one of the user, that is Calvin. So Calvin Roth will do. Say OK and save and close, right? So this way you can assign the various tasks. Let's done that, and if you see, the assigned task is 163, and through the resources you can view how many tasks you have assigned to which user, right? So that way you can see and visualize that which task is completed. So with Casey Brown, say this has been updated, so you will select that and edit the status, select as completed, right? If you want to add any note out here, you can put the note or say complete and save and close. So that status will change from complete one, right? So that kind of a task completion the user, the team members can do. So moving to head related to your enterprise setup, we can search from global search page, one task name, that is establish enterprise structure. Search with that. Let me search with this structure. Enterprise structure, this is the task. So you can see one enterprise per instance you have. You can create a one enterprise only. Its status is loaded out here. Since it is a vision enterprise, you can see the enterprise configurations, and once it is loaded you can't roll back the configurations. Let's review the result out here. Go to the results. So you can see the enterprise name is Vision Corporation, and the division it has used as APAC division, with the country as Singapore, location as a Singapore. The Americas division, you can have a United States as a US as a headquarter, and the European division where the head country is Belgium with the location as Brussels. They got a legal entities. They got a Belgium country with a Vision Belgium with a legal entity number, legal entity registration number with the legal addresses, right? So accordingly these are the legal entities, that is a Belgium, Canada, Chile, China, France, India, Singapore, and Vision Corporation, that is a United States with which is headquarter, right? So these are the subsidiaries, and this is the your head office. So this is the business unit, that Vision Belgium business unit, Vision Canada business unit, Vision Chile business unit, Vision China business unit. So Vision Corporation US headquarters with a reference data set, that is Vision Corporation set to bifurcate the data, and you got a Vision France, Vision India, Vision Singapore. So these are the business unit, right? So you can view, and with the location, that is about Brussels, Toronto, Santiago, Shanghai, US headquarters, Paris, India, Singapore. And you got a, by default you got a two reference data set, one with the common set with a code as a 0, which is a seeded one, and another one is an enterprise set, and other sets you can create, right? So that is enterprise structure. If you go to the management reporting structure out here, so this is the ultimate holding company, that is headquarters, ultimate holding company. These are the divisions out here, that is Singapore division, they got, right? So you got a division that is legal entity related to Shanghai, you got this out here. So you can see this legal entity base, right? So that kind of a, so division, so you can see this division out here. So in this division, this is Canada, and this is related to your Santiago, Chile, right? If I go to this one, so you got the Vision Belgium enter Brussels, and you can have this legal entity of Paris, right? So that kind of a reporting structure you can have. Download the technical summary report. Let's download this. Let me, so there is some issue out here. So you can download the technical report and you can view that. Okay, So that is enterprise structure which has already been created in the vision. So let's move to the geography validation. So geography is preceded, and in the preceded you will navigate to the manage geography country valid definition. Let's navigate first. Let me navigate to the setup and maintenance. Go to the global search page. That is manage geographies. So manage geographies. Go to the manage geographies. Search with the code as US. Go to the structure definition. So that is structure defined the state, county, city and postal code. So this is the geography type and the level, that is in the sequence how the hierarchy is there, right? The state, county, city and postal. If you want additional requirement is there, then you can select the district, you can have a municipality, right? So that kind of a detailing you can have a township also, right? So that kind of a requirement you can add on, or you can create your own geography type, right? And let's go to the hierarchy definition. If you go to the hierarchy definition, it's a preloaded, so you can see this is the country out here. With the country you got the state, right, which is loaded from vertex. You can see the service provider is the vertex, and you can see drill down, you can have a county, and the county you got a city, and the city you got a postal code. So there is a hierarchy. So this is the hierarchy, and all are loaded through your vertex. So done. After loading this one, go to the validation define. So you got one postal address format, one with the tax format. So this postal format will be used in related to your supplier creation, supplier address creation, business locations and your customer. And this is the tax format, related to tax format, related to tax setups. For that you require that. So if you see out here, select the postal format. So format, you can see the address line which is mapped. So address line 1 and 2, the city, the country, the county, the postal code and the state. So you are mapped with the state out here, and the county with the county, the city with the city and the postal code with the postal code attributes. Enable the list of values, enable the tax validation and enable the geography validation. Then save and close. Then we have to run a to process from the ESS page, that is enterprise scheduler page. Navigate to the tools, from the schedule process, search with the task name called validation. Validate. Let me tab out. validate. Search with that. The validate geography of a address against the master geography. Select that. So it will verifies that whether the geography elements of the address like state, city, postal code are valid as per the master geography data, and also stores the geography names and references information for the addresses. So this ensures that addresses are validated with there are no downstream impact. Right? So that is the, so select that. So first we will select as HZ underscore locations, select or type as all, and select the country code. So country code, and then submit that. Refresh that. So this is the sub process is running. So it gets succeeded. Now we will run one more. You can view the report. So that is a log file you can generate is generated. You can download that. So it's successfully run. No error found. So schedule new process. Again select that. We have to select the another process, that is PR underscore D DRESSES underscore F, run type as all, country code as US. So it get validated. So the per address has been succeeded with the usage in the tags, right? So that is usage in the tags. So thank you for joining this webinar that is on Get Started with Oracle Fusion Supply Chain and Manufacturing. Thank you.